Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Get Down and Dirty Talking Art. And more importantly, happy Women's Month. It's Women's Month, y'all. We have a wonderful guest to top it off. I'm sure we talked about it before. We have an event. Debbie LaPrade and I, she's out today. She got an important artist talk. But we have an event at the end of the month called Out of the Darkness. So for a special treat for this month, we wanted to give you guys an in-depth look at some of the people that we're partnering with and some of the organizations that are important for the women in this city and this community. So without further ado, our first guest, I'd like to introduce you all and welcome um, Miss Shatara Heath.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So much for joining us. For
No
our people
problem.
tuning in, Chitara is the owner and operator of Women of Rebirth, or is it just Rebirth?
It's Rebirth, a nonprofit organization.
Rebirth, a nonprofit organization, and you
Mhm.
do some wonderful things here. Could you tell us
Thank
a
you.
bit about what Rebirth is and what you do?
Well, if I may tell you a bit about my background and how Rebirth came about. Well, Rebirth I would say, is my rebirth. Um, I come from a long history of abuse. I witnessed abuse. I've been in abuse. I've been in abusive situations my whole life. Some of my earliest memories are of abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse, and things of that nature. So coming out from that is where rebirth was born. Um, I put some notes here. I'm a mother of five. Um, I went into a very abusive marriage. Didn't recognize the signs or anything like that because growing up around it, it was something that was very, very normal, to me. And I ended up being married for 12 years to a very abusive husband at the time. So during my 12-year marriage, I ended up getting really, really, really sick. And after a couple of years of going to the doctors, going to neurologists, going to the emergency room and things like that, I finally was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And after 9 years of treatment and getting a divorce out of my abusive marriage, I found out that I, in fact, did not have multiple sclerosis. I was misdiagnosed with multiple sclerosis, but I, in fact, had a mental um, disorder that was called conversion disorder. And conversion disorder is a mental health issue that encompasses neurological effects on the body. It can create paralysis, seizures, vision changes, a slew of different things, all things that actually mimic MS. And it was so severe that clinically, through imaging, you could see the lesions on my brain from all these things happening. So they, in fact, thought it was MS. When I learned that I had conversion disorder and that it wasn't MS, I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? What's going on? Where is this coming from? You know, how does one get conversion disorder? And I had my psychiatrist on one side and my neurologist on the other side. I was in the hospital, and they said, Chatara, you have to get your life back. You have to get your life back. And they said this is a direct cause of stress, extreme trauma and stress that you've dealt with your whole entire life. And this is how it takes onto your body when you don't deal with stress, when you internalize things. It's unresolved stress and tension in your body. I explain it to my children for me being sick as, when you get nervous, you have a tummy ache or your hands might be sweaty. It's a very exaggerated version of that. So upon learning, what was really going on with me and being free from that abusive situation, um, I started Rebirth, a nonprofit organization.
Okay. And I just have to say, I appreciate women that can come out of something and turn it into a positive for someone else. So
Mhm.
we were having a conversation with another organization, and as you know, and or viewers may not know, you know, Calibri has gone through a very similar situation, all the
Mhm.
way down from to being in a long marriage and you know dealing with different things, and we were talking about even not knowing, you know, because how hard it is, number one, when you're in it, you know, that you don't always recognize it. Don't nobody come around you like, hey, I'm crazy.
Right.
I will pop off y'all.
Right.
And then
Mhm.
normally once you're in it, you know that it go through trials and stuff like that. So it's still hard to
Mhm.
recognize when it's a
Mhm.
trial or when
Mhm.
it's a whole problem that you need to get rid of. And then once
Yeah.
you do, you know, come out of it, you know, whether it's too late or just whatever, there are people that you know, a lot of times just want to just not deal with it with any traumatic situation. A lot of times you want to move past it. So you have people
Yeah.
that want to move past it. You have people that go and seek help and maybe are turned away from there or deterred. And then you have women that still battle all of that and push through and then turn it into something positive to help other women, you know,
Mhm.
get that leg up and come out. So I commend you for
Mhm.
that. So
Thank you. I commend you too.
thank you, because it you
Mhm.
know people need to hear these type of stories so that they can have the courage and the know-how to move forward. It's somebody watching right now. They're like, damn, let me go to the hospital. You know what? Maybe that I am stressed out because I was
Yeah.
too. I got all the way down to 100 pounds sick. Thought I didn't
Mm.
know what I had. You know,
Yeah.
and he was still adding to the stress. I'm like, you know, let me go ahead.
Right.
You know, but thank you. Thank you. So could
No
you tell us
problem.
about Rebirth then? What your baby that was birthed from this experience?
Yes. So that night when they told me, like, oh, Jadara, you know, you got conversion disorder, I had all these different thoughts going on in my head. Like, am I crazy? Like, all the stuff that's going on with me. Like, sometimes I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. You know, it was very, very traumatic, just that experience and going through that. And believing I have an eventuality um, of death from a disease that breaks you down over time. Like that was very, very stressful. So learning like overnight, just snap like that that's not what was going on. You know, I just had to, like I always do, just try to turn to a different mindset, you know, and just keep moving forward. So when they said to take control of your life, I said, okay, I really do need to do something because this is scary. This is crazy. And you mean to tell me 9 years I've been going through all this and I just had to deal with this stress. I had to deal with all these things. You know what I mean? Um, so that night I came up with Rebirth, the name. I came up with the logo. I was so excited, the logo. And I'm like, I'm about to be rebirthed. You know, I'm gonna help people. I always love to help people anyway. And that's what I did. I came up with a mission, which has changed over time upon learning the different needs of the community and finally getting out there. But the mission for Rebirth is to help individuals to gain stability and independence by means of housing and resources. When I say resources, I mean across the board resources, the full wraparound resources. So whatever you need help with, if I don't have the means to serve you, I'm going to make sure I get the right information to point you in that right direction. But the housing portion, of course, is something that I'm very, very passionate about, especially with the needs in the Black community and the resources in the Black community. So I started off by doing like fundraisers and things like that. But like I said, learning and really diving into everything, I said, wow, I'm not by myself, you know, and what's going on with me and the physicality and the mentality, you know, of these things. They really, the trenches run deep, you know, and people, period, you know, as humans, period, we go through things in life. We go through things in life. We have to learn different coping mechanisms or what's best for us to how to get through the things that we, you know, go through. And that's what I teach my children is the like the mastery of life. understanding that in life, there is a ton of things that's going to be thrown at you, things that are out of your control and things that are in your control. And it's how you deal with those situations that dictate you either moving forward or falling back or staying still. So I said, what are those needs? How can I turn, my negative situation into a positive situation and help others at the same time so they don't have to go through the exact same thing, or they don't have to wait so long to be rebirthed, or to come out of those things. So I started meeting with different investors, networking. They called me the network queen because I was everywhere. Wherever I could be, I was there. I was like, I need to get these answers. I need to figure out what do I need to do,
Uh-huh.
and I did that. We currently have a food distribution program where every fourth Tuesday of the month we serve over 100 families.
Girl.
Yeah, yeah. We
Every
just
month.
lowered it.
Hold on, I just want to pause and say that one more time. She said every fourth Sunday,
Every first Tuesday.
every fourth Tuesday. Where I get
Yeah.
Sunday from?
I don't know.
They don't get Tuesday, did they? No, every fourth Tuesday. Over 100 families, and she's out here deep with
Yeah.
Shatara feed people, you know.
Hmm.
But please continue. I apologize for interrupting.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. This is a whole discussion. Please do. Please do.
I just
But now
want
we're
to throw that in.
thank you, thank you, thank you. There, we definitely are hitting the streets with the ground on the ground running. Trying to feed people as much as we can. There's definitely a need out here.
Yes,
I
it
don't care who you are. You gonna need something, somebody, someday. And one of those needs in our community is food. So I'm very passionate about the food program that we have. But I'm also very, very happy, and it's dear to my heart. The first program that I did start was the Women of Rebirth program, which was geared towards young ladies, young women, and older women, and helping them to get through the things that they've been through, trauma and stress. And it was very, very, very successful. I've met some amazing women and watched them turn things around. Unfortunately, when COVID hit, it left me like in a daze. Like, how the heck are we gonna do this? Because we're so used to meeting, and it's nothing like that in person connection, especially when you're talking and discussing these very personal things, with each other. So right now, that program isn't up and running. I'm looking forward to getting it back, actually in some high schools. I'm not gonna say nothing about that right now,
No,
but that
it's
huh?
it's needed. I'm feeling that. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, yes, yes. Address
yes,
them early so that they can recognize the signs before it happens.
that is the goal.
Mhm.
That is the
I just
goal.
want to hold that thought and remind our viewers that you're tuning in to Get Down and Dirty Talking Art with Khalifa the artist, and Debbie LaPratt is she's doing an artist talk, y'all. We miss you, Debbie. Everybody say hey, Debbie.
Hey
We're here
there.
today discussing the art of healing with owner and operator of Rebirth and nonprofit, Chitara Heath. So we were
Yes.
just talking about all of your fabulous programs and getting into the Women of Rebirth. But quickly, I'd like to, because we have a few pictures. We have a video. I wasn't able to show the video, but it's on our page, y'all. So take a look at that. But I want to pull up some of these pictures. Um, Chitara hitting the streets here. What's happening here? What's going on here?
Okay, so that was a food, clothing, and voting access event.
Voting
So
at.
we had so many clothes. It was crazy. We probably served over 300 people that day. It was anybody could come and pick out any items of clothing,
Hmm.
any shoes. We had food, and
Hmm.
we also had the voting access. It was stationed there at the Tyndall Activity Center on 7 Mile in Detroit
Hmm.
with Mariah, a good friend of mine. So I really appreciate her allowing me to utilize that space for that community event. It was very successful.
What made you do the voting access?
Well, because it was voting time, and also I've learned the importance of making your voice heard. Your voice is very, very important and powerful.
Mhm,
And many people believe that just themselves can't move others.
mhm,
Well, in learning the communities and the needs that needed to be brought into the community,
mhm,
um, my viewpoint on voting, it was not always vote. My viewpoint on voting changed.
mhm,
So I wanted to encourage others to vote. The
mhm,
things that happen in the community as far as accessibility, development, resources depends upon the individuals in that community voting for individuals that say that they will bring that to that community.
mhm,
When you don't vote and when you don't voice, your opinion, then you allow other individuals who don't have either the knowledge of
mhm.
what's going on in the community to come and make major decisions that change not only the infrastructure and the resources in the community. So it's very, very important that you do utilize your voice to vote. Educate yourself on what's going on in the community, as a resident, what the needs are in the community. So familiarize yourself with those candidates, reach out to those candidates, challenge those candidates, and
Mhm.
then vote for who you think is best. Nobody is perfect,
Yeah.
and when we talk politics,
Yeah.
everybody doesn't follow their word either.
It's
But do
still
your part.
it's about who can get the job done.
Absolutely.
The fact that you're organizing and also stressing the importance of it and giving people a platform to do that, where people aren't really reaching out to give people that. Of course, people they put on the oh, go vote, go vote, go vote, but you're right there
Mhm.
in the streets, which is what I love and appreciate about you is you're right there, hands on. You know,
Thank you.
let's
Thank you.
see some other because we had, baby, I could have went and posted 100 of them. That's what you do, but you what's happening here.
Okay, so this is an actual domestic violence retreat
Oh,
with the
okay.
Enough Initiative. The CEO of that is Nicole Beverly. I want to thank her
Mhm,
publicly for, again, allowing me the opportunity to teach one of the workshops there at the domestic violence retreat.
mhm,
That specifically had to do with stress and coping skills, stress and anxiety and coping skills. So we had a number of different activities that I had set out for the ladies to do in an open discussion about who they were and what they went through if they wanted to be open about that. And then how we could overcome some of the issues and avoid some of those issues.
I love that. Enough.
Yep.
Enough.
Enough. Yes, this is awesome. She's an amazing advocate, an
Yes.
amazing domestic violence advocate.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's pull up another one. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Another one here. Hey y'all, look what we got.
Yes, yes, yes. So I absolutely love this picture. I love, love, love this picture. I said, because I always ask everybody, I said, because everybody doesn't feel comfortable, right? So I always ask, can I take a picture of you all? I like to document what I'm doing in the community and stuff like. And this specific gentleman, this young lady, they said, yeah. And when I say they posed, I heard and took that picture, and it was classic. It was classic. But those are some of the amazing residents in District 5 of Detroit that I serve that are faithful in coming to get food, and they are a joy to be around.
Mhm. Which district is District 5? I
District
should,
5 is the historical district. District 5 is actually one of the larger districts. So it covers just some of them is Dexter, Davison, Linwood,
oh, good.
Grand Boulevard, all that area. I think you stay in the, I think you
I
stay in
stay in
District.
District 6. That's why
Oh,
I'm
you
saying
stay in
why it's weird. Y'all don't know where I stay.
District.
But it covers a wide area, and that's why I'm
It
asking.
does.
District 2 also covers a large area too, and it's
Mhm,
weird how they're shaped, but
mhm, mhm,
that's one of my favorite areas. That's where my people stay. That's one of the areas where I was first growing up. My grandparents stayed there, my father stayed there. So That's the hood right there.
It is. It is. It is. It is. I have a large amount of my childhood there in District 5. So I'm very, very passionate about what's going on and what needs need to be addressed there.
And they need it. Detroit
They
is needed
do.
all over, but I guess coming from that area, that's like I said, that's where my grandfather, when he came here, that's where he bought his first home. So when we're
Mm.
over there, they know my daddy from when he was a little boy. So that's
Wow.
seeing that how they smiling, like, yeah, like
Uh-huh.
how that community is. I know how that area is,
Yeah.
and they're grateful when you come and genuinely show love. Just
Yeah.
thank you, Chitara. Don't even know. You just don't even know.
Oh, I
When
thank God.
I'm flooded, y'all. So this is could you tell us about this? This is one of the homes, right?
So yes, this is another thing that this is my baby right here. If I could have birthed this house, when I say like this is actually one of the first properties that I obtained as a community partner with the city of Detroit. I turned a two-family flat, and I'm still in process, excuse me, of
Mhm,
turning this two-family flat into a full wraparound service resource center
mhm,
and part housing for women and children, emergency housing for women and children. There is a barrier there with accessibility
mhm,
and transportation and things like that.
mhm,
So I wanted to make sure that I had something smack dab right in the middle of the neighborhood that people are familiar with, people trust. And they say, I can go here. If I need food, I can go to the Rebirth Center. If I need substance abuse counseling, if I need, trauma informed care, if I need help getting my ID or getting any government assistance, or if I want to gain skills for a job, or if I want to learn some computer skills or some life skills, or if I want to talk, if I want to visit their library, that's what I'm going to, that's right there. You can walk there. So
mhm.
that was the whole idea behind that.
I love that. And we have another picture. I like this one because it really shows how hands on you are. Because I see
Mm,
those lives, I see you hammering. And Chitara is part of every single process, every single step of the way. She's not just a mouth that's saying, "Oh, I want to put money down to the hood," and do it
mhm,
like she's right there. We can pull it up again because I want y'all to see this.
mhm.
What's happening right here?
Okay, so here is I'm doing a photo shoot from the actual a funder who helped push a little bit of our rehab on the property and a little bit of our food distribution, COAC Detroit. Actually, thank you to them. And this is inside of the top unit. It's at the drywall stage now of that two-family flat, that Rebirth Center. That's going to be the housing for women and children. I have done everything except for the plumbing and electrical at this place. So I'm very, very proud. I'm in there busting. I bust out all of the walls. And I had a heck of a good time doing it.
I love it. Now, do you have any of the women of Rebirth participating in these rehab projects?
Actually, yes, yes, yes. Two of them have come out to help me. Some of them have some barriers. Some of them don't even live in Detroit. They stay in Inkster. But the one that does stay in Detroit, she helps me out quite often. So I'm not sure if you'll pull up some more pictures, but she is in a lot of our food distribution photos.
Mhm.
Her and her children, actually.
Yeah, I did.
Hmm.
I had off. I was like, I'm gonna limit it to five, but I'm gonna make sure I post inside of our Facebook page, Get
Okay.
Down Dirty Talking Art, because I would love for people to see the scope of how active you are, but also the engagement with the people. Like you can see how happy and how much people enjoy it. How you touch people. You really do. You
Mhm.
have a gift of touching people.
Thank
Um,
you.
you can go anywhere. You can go to the Red Cross and get stuff. I don't feel like the Red Cross love me. you know, but with birth that comes across,
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
That's the whole idea. I mean, I'm coming from a place. Um, Actually, I wouldn't say coming from a place. I would say that I'm still working through that place.
mhm,
This is a part of this is a part of my healing. This is a part of my children's healing because they went through that abuse right with me. You know,
mhm.
they were abused as well. So uh, this is a part of that healing. When you get out, and that's one of the things, a part of the Women of Rebirth program is one of the requirements is to engage into community activity
Mhm.
because it is such a healing property when you come to the mindset that, hey, I'm not alone. You know, there are people in even worse situations than me that I can impact and help them too.
Mhm.
And for some reason, that just does something to an individual. When you get out there and you start creating that activism within yourself and you spark that in somebody else, you know, it's absolutely, it's the best feeling in the world.
Mhm.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Now, did you find that challenging for yourself to lend your voice initially?
I didn't find it challenging to lend my voice,
Hmm.
but I did find it challenging holding, I wouldn't, well, let me not say holding, knowing a lot of the things that these women were going through. And then I was their mentor. So I felt so responsible, you know. Anytime that I couldn't be there, like I wanted to be mom, sister, friend, like, you know, anytime that I couldn't be there, I felt so guilty,
Hmm.
you know. But I can't be everywhere all the time. I had to learn that, Chatara, it's only one you, you
Hmm.
know, you have children at home to take care of as well. No, but you can still have a greater outpack, a greater impact, and a great impact, excuse me, with doing these certain things. So, yeah,
And still being an example, because at the
yeah,
end of the day, you still, like you said, you're still a mother, you're still a
yeah,
daughter. You're still Chitara, and
yes,
um, you're showing women being an example of what healing looks like, but that's not a complete example if you're still not taking care of yourself and taking care of home.
exactly,
So they
exactly,
still see, well, Chitara had him hard nosed. Nope, my babies. So I get it. I get it.
yeah,
I've actually had the pleasure of participating in one of your groups. I was helping painting.
yes,
Also
yes,
getting something out of it too. That's actually one of the when I was maybe about a buck 10, skinny there too. But what I loved was that the women were very open. I've seen different groups where women had gone through things like that and were still timid about sharing. And I believe
mhm,
in that session, even your mother shared and talked about how you
yes,
helped her to be able to open up about some of the things that she went through.
mhm.
How does that make you feel? Number one, just having women feeling comfortable enough to open up, and then even tapping in to what's going on with them. How does that make you feel?
Blessed. It feels incredible because even at times that I doubt myself and my ability, they they probably don't know that they empower me as well.
Yeah.
Like, even in my weakness, I have strength.
I love
And that's what I want women to understand, that even in your weakness, you still possess strength.
that. Mhm.
Do not doubt your power. Never doubt your power.
I love that. Create such a safe space. You really do safe space. Well, I mean, you do, and I'm sure other people tell you that as well, because it's not easy speaking about. I mean, people have all different types of experiences, and it's not easy to share them. But if y'all go to when y'all go to one of Chitara's Women of Rebirth groups or meetings, it is it's just like she said, it's really a room full of activists. It's people
Mhm.
that are given the game based on things that they've gone through unapologetically. It's not people that
Mhm.
are timid or shy about it. It's
Mhm.
very comfortable. So I think that's kudos to you for creating that environment, because it's not easy, and it's not something that can be duplicated.
Absolutely. I just believe that complete transparency is the only true way to healing. You can't lie to yourself. So
Hmm.
you got to be able to uh, put yourself out there so other people can see you, as the true self that you are, is your true person you are as well. So I do encourage true transparency when I talk to my women.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Hold that thought. We just want to take a quick moment to remind our viewers that you're watching Get Down and Dirty Talking Art with Khalifa the artist tonight, y'all. Say hey to Debbie. um, Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment. We're on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Today we're talking the art of healing. We're here with Rebirth owner and operator Chitara Heath. If you're chatting right now, I can see your chat. So let's take a look at some. I see a comment here. Oh no, do I need to get my glasses up? Okay, so I'm gonna come back to the chat. I see the notification. Oh Lord. Hey Debbie. Oh,
I,
Sarah Tasha is watching too. Sarah is actually the founder of Stoma, and she'll be on as well. But she said that her mother could learn a lot from your organization. So
okay.
you already you you influencing people. Where
Tell mom we can have her. We can have her. We love to have her. Love to have her.
my mom too, honestly. If I'm being,
Okay.
because I grew up around trauma as well, and just kind of
Mhm.
watched my mother go through different things. I was blessed to have a mother that was very strong and tenacious, so I was able to see her get out of things and bounce
Mhm.
back like nothing, you know. So
Mhm.
I like that, but she still it's hard in her in a way, and I tell her all the time, you need to speak. You need to
Yeah.
speak, but we got Chitaras in the world that are doing that. So Chitara, you have gone through some trials, even after rebirth. Could you tell
Yeah.
us some of the hardships that rebirth has, the hurdles that you've had to jump with putting this together?
So, as I mentioned before, as soon literally that night when the doctors told me, what was going on, that I had in fact didn't have MS, but I had conversion disorder.
Hmm.
I created the organization that night.
Hmm.
So I still had that trauma.
Hmm.
I still hadn't dealt with anything.
Hmm.
So creating the organization was a means for me to one pursue my way of helping other individuals. And when I learned about convergence disorder, because I was online looking at all this stuff, like, oh my God, this is what's going on. This was happening to me, but also a way of healing myself as well. So, I after I started Rebirth, I went through 2 periods of homelessness.
I didn't know that.
I did. So while I was having my rebirth meetings and doing all this other stuff, yeah, I was homeless at one point. Me and my children had to stay with my mother for quite some time until I got things together. So it was like about stabilizing at that time, stabilizing my mind, stabilizing, my mindset, stabilizing my situation. So that's how I became so resourceful. So, I started reaching out to different organizations. How can I help myself? I didn't have furniture. When I finally let me back up. So after I got out of homelessness, which was by the help of an organization called Here to Help, and
Hmm.
I would like to truly thank them right now publicly as well. Here to Help Foundation helped me to obtain a house by helping me with the first and last month's rent. And then I went to another organization out of Inkster. I need to think of the organization. I cannot bring it to mind right now, but I will before we leave because I definitely need to um, thank them as well. I was able from that organization to get furniture.
Mm-hmm.
I had no furniture. I was able to get beds because none of my children had beds,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a washing machine or dryer. I didn't have a refrigerator. I didn't even have a stove. The only thing I had was a toaster oven and a sink. So,
But it's real, and it's crazy because
yeah.
God will show you. Number one, He's the God that shows you. He can show you better. He can tell you, even with pulling you to show somebody else. He's gonna make you an example first. However you
Absolutely.
want to take it. So still, you being strong enough to do it, but also retain it and then reshare it.
Mhm.
And go through it so you can understand the importance of not having it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's people don't understand. And again, we had this discussion earlier. When you leave certain situations, sometimes you really are starting over. It really is a rebirth. And just like anything, when you're starting fresh, you need all of these things. You don't have. When I left with the clothes on my back, and them didn't even fit. You know, but it's true. But
Mhm.
by the grace of God, I had my mother. I had certain things where I had help. And I've talked to people that would be like, well, at least you had a mom. I've talked to people that literally had no other place to go and didn't know where they could go.
Yes.
So if you're watching this right now, you can go to Rebirth. This is a woman that's working to provide you whatever resource you need. If she don't got it, she gonna see where you can get it. Um,
Absolutely.
I've gone to you, even before leaving my ex. I've gone to you.
Mhm.
You had supplies. You were giving out backpack supplies. I didn't even know
Mhm.
who it was. I'm like, kids need backpack supplies. Oh, it's Shatara. I know you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? I forgot about that. That
But
was at the Detroit Library. That was my first event. It was a back to school and resource access event.
oh, I feel so blessed to have come to that. I didn't know it was your
Yes.
didn't know because she
Yeah.
had this polish. Yes, take what you need. Like she had been doing it for decades. But just God, it's wonderful that you're doing these things. Like anything that you're doing, it's wonderful. And I wanted to bring up another trial because Chitara was on the news, y'all. I'm sure y'all might have
Mhm.
seen her before. 'Cause we're still in Detroit. Sometimes stuff happen. Somebody broke into one of those houses.
Mhm.
Did you
Oh
get
yeah.
your stuff back? What happened with that? Can you tell us
I did
about that?
not get a dime back. I didn't get anything back. You know what? But that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. So what happened was I got a grant from this. Was it Wayne County? It was from Wayne County. It was actually I think a COVID-19 grant,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the property. I didn't have any windows or doors or anything going on at the time. And I said, I'm gonna make sure I put all these windows and doors and stuff in here. And I fed the community. So it hadn't been a month that the doors and the windows and stuff brand new every all the way around. I'm talking about over 40 windows and doors all in there. It's a lot of money to put those things in. And somebody came on the blind side of the property and just took everything. They just took everything. And then still had the nerve to keep coming back and take piece by piece, door by door, and stuff like. I said, "Oh my goodness, are you serious?" When I say it hurt me so bad, I I broke down. Honestly, I broke down. I went inside the property, found out that they took more tools and other knickknacks and stuff like that inside as well, and I screamed to the top of my lungs, crying and crying and crying and crying because I don't have a grant writer or anything like that. This is me, inexperienced, just writing down what I'm doing, calculating what I'm doing, what I like to do, and trying to get the money to be able to do it,
Mm-hmm.
trying to make it still.
Mm-hmm.
And it was taken, selfishly. And I was just like, oh, all the stuff that I do in the community, how you think how they do that to me? Like, Lord, why? I broke down. It was very discouraging. It was very discouraging. But you know what? Even in the midst of that, I was able to like increase my services to the community.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to allow this to get me down at all. I'm going to keep moving forward because no matter what, there's still a mission here. There's still a purpose here. And I'm not going to allow anybody to steal that from me, from my children, or the people in this community. So I just kept on moving forward.
Thank you. And
Just
it's
kept moving forward.
again just leading by example, because that can't be easy. Um, really just again hands on. You're in there building, not just getting it done, but building. And having those hurdles to jump. Because I saw you, and she didn't ask for money. She wasn't on it. Then what can happen? She said, "Bring it back. You can bring it
Yeah.
back. Just bring it back."
Mhm.
If you're watching this, you have resources. Just donate, give what you can. Volunteer. Just whatever, because these hurdles happen, these setbacks happen, but the mission is more important. Um, and God will continue to bless you. God is still moving, so it is what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's oh goodness, that hurts my heart. It hurts my heart to hear because it's needed, and certain communities are sort of forgotten about. The people, I mean, you see development happening, but you're somebody that's reaching to give something to the people in that
Mhm.
community. So it's hard to hear when it's almost like a stab within itself.
Absolutely. That's exactly how I felt. That was a perfect explanation. It's a stab within itself. I'm dealing with a community that a lot of investors are coming and buying the property and kicking the people that have stayed there their whole life, kicking them out, kicking them
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
The homeless rate out there is almost 80% in
I
that
didn't know
community.
that. I
So
didn't know.
there are properties that are not taken care of that people are just squatting in.
Mhm.
If individuals that are low income, very low income,
Yeah.
uh, suffering from drug addiction,
Mhm.
you have a large reentry population out there as well.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm so passionate about getting this resource center going,
Mhm.
getting that housing established because they need it. And there's not enough resources or any resources that's accessible to them in that area.
Now, how does that make you feel keeping up with investors that are buying those properties?
It makes me upset, honestly. It makes me upset because it's very heartless
Mhm.
to put somebody out illegally, let me say,
Yes.
uh, illegally, and for your own selfish gain.
Yeah.
And understanding that that population there is still low income, no matter what, they're still low income. So
Mhm.
they're walking the streets and things like that. And then you kick them out and make it market rate rent
Mhm.
to where they can't afford it in that area. So you pushing people out
Pushing the
on
people.
purpose.
It's definitely intentional.
It's definitely intentional.
It's definitely. And
It's
it's
definitely intentional.
unfortunate because, like you said, these are people that have been in their homes their whole life. These are people, like I said, I know that neighborhood. These are people that lived there. Hey, you Speedy Star. I remember Speedy. He was a little bitty boy. Like it's people that it really is a community that is Detroit and represents Detroit.
Hmm.
And I'd say I rode that. That's one of my areas that I ride. That's on my way home. I ride through there, and I did. I like snot nose cried one day, just one morning. Um, because I have the same passion. We've talked, about these properties with regard to what we want to do with them. But
Hmm.
I did. It's you see. I remember riding one day, and I was looking at some of these properties that were kind of dilapidated, for lack of a better word. But I
Mhm.
saw toys and stuff like that. It was around Christmas time, so I saw like
Mhm.
some little kid that made like a little snowman and stuff like that. And it's just these reminders of life that's there. You know,
Yes.
like this is still somebody's home, and if they had the
Right.
resources to do better, they would. But we're
That's
not
right.
giving those resources to these people, and in fact, what we're doing is giving people that aren't even in this community, don't know anything about it, don't care about it. We're
Mhm.
allowing them the opportunity to swoop in and push these people out, but to where? You know, and you just, Lord, we need to give to Tara, get her help, get money. If you watching this, matter of fact, let's go ahead and you watching Dirty Talking Art with Kalibi the artist on WJZZ right now. We're talking to Rebirth operator and owner Tara Heath. We need to get Tara some help, some grants, some money, some volunteers. If you are an investor sitting on some property, give them up. It's a tax write off anyway. Give it on up. If
Mhm.
you have some, give off a
Mhm.
fraction. Um,
Mhm.
Tara, on that note, what are some ways that people can help?
Well, I can always use some extra hands trying to get these properties together. As I
Okay.
said, that I'm at the drywall stage, so I'm been putting up like little drywall stuff myself, and I can use, money is always a major factor. You can't do anything without having the funds to be able to push forward. I don't get paid for what I do. I find money and donations or money in my own pocket whenever I can to, move forward whenever I can. So if you can help, if you have drywall, if you can buy a couple pieces, if you dedicate, hey, I buy 10 pieces of drywall. They're about, how much is drywall? Drywall, I don't know how much drywall is, but it's cheap. It's real cheap, honestly.
Okay.
So if you could buy some drywall, if you know a construction company or anything like that, they could donate drywall, furnish to some furniture so that we can furnish when we're done. That's what we need right now. Appliances and things like that. I need a toilet. I need a shower put in. So it's just things like that. Is what we need. I've done everything else for the most part. So it's really minor. We're on that finishing point on this property. I have a whole nother property that's a 4-family flat that is completely broke down to the studs, but it has this major roof job. Like, it needs to be completely done over, and I just don't have the $18,000 to do that right now.
You do it. You do
Yeah.
it. You gotta speak it in existence.
But it'll
Um,
get there.
that's right. So
It'll
what's
get there.
next for Rebirth?
I'm sorry.
What's next for Rebirth?
I would like to increase my services to the community.
Okay.
I cannot wait to get the Rebirth Center, the inside, open to the public, because right now all of my services are outside. I do everything rain, sleet, snow.
Mm,
I'm out there, tent and all. Like, I'm out there. So I would like to establish the resource and stuff right there in the community and get it going. So if there was any way anybody could help, that'd be great. If you are a grant writer that can assist with uh, getting grants, I could definitely use your assistance, because, as you know, those are very, very time consuming. And
mhm.
I'm very, very busy. My hands are in everything, trying to like hold up everything. So I definitely don't have the supportive staff that I would like
Mhm.
to have in order to drive the mission. It's difficult finding individuals that you trust with your mission to push the mission, that
Mhm.
won't push you out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I can't honestly be pushed out of this. This is my healing as well,
Yes.
and it's so real. We're dealing with real life situations. This is
Mhm.
not something that I'm doing to benefit to benefit monetarily from at all. These are real life issues happening in our communities that
Mhm.
need to be dealt with. So if you have the means to help, please do. Please do.
And how do they help? Where can they donate and how can they reach you?
You can reach me at Rebirth anpo@gmail.com, or you can go to our website. On the website, there's a bit of information about us and also ways to donate as well. The website is rebirthanonprofit.org.
Mhm.
You could
Or
also Cash App. I'm
They're-
sorry.
no, I'm saying the cash out for right now so they can put them dollars.
Okay. Oh, sorry. The Cash App is Rebirth a Nonprofit.
Dollar sign Rebirth
Dollars.
a nonprofit. Drop
Yes.
right now a dollar, whatever you want to pay. Okay,
Yes.
see it now.
Yes.
Drop it,
Yes.
drop it, drop it. I'm gonna go ahead and lead by example. I ain't got much dollars in here.
Thank you so
Dollar
much.
$, Rebirth a nonprofit.
Yes.
There we go. And it comes right on up. Y'all can't see it. Chitara Heath is the foot on the whatchamacallit. And you put
Yes.
something because every little bit helps. It can go towards something. It can go towards groceries. It can go towards just something. Something.
Yes. We also help. I know we're running on time. We also aid in women and children who need places to stay since our shelter isn't complete yet. I always search for donations and things like that for hotel stays. So I put mothers and children in hotels for weeks, sometimes at a time. So if you have any connections with any hotels or any discounts or vouchers or anything like that, any transportation vouchers or anything like that, that'll help too.
That's
So
wonderful.
in-kind donations go a long way, a long way.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Chitara. We're almost out of time, but I'd like to end on a positive note. So do you have any advice or yeah, words of encouragement, anything that you'd like to give to the viewers or anyone watching?
Know that you can always make a difference. Don't feel that your impact has to be so widely seen. Know that just this much can go so far. Just keep going forward. Don't be discouraged. Don't stay down. Keep moving forward. What does it say? Trouble don't last always. It
That's right.
doesn't. Gain control. You are in control. Kings and queens, I love y'all. I do.
You. Thank you, Tara. It was a pleasure having you on. Ladies and gentlemen, donate. Again, that's Cash App, a nonprofit. And then go to our website, and your email,
Yes.
Rebirth in it's a nonprofit organization. It's the acronym.
The acronym Rebirth ANPO. I could also put out my number out there. Please don't
Sure.
call me at crazy times, only in business hours. 313-603-2802.
Okay.
That's 313-603-2802.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Chitara. Chitara is actually participating in our women's event Out of the Darkness. It's coming right at the end of Women's Month. We're popping off April Out of the Darkness. It's an event that's raising awareness and funds for Chitara's organization and other organizations ran by women that are similar. And we're just celebrating women that shine in dark moments, okay? So I love for you all to come. We'll see Chitara more. That is April 2nd, Saturday from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at 8711 Grand River. Riverside Gallery, y'all. So thank you again. Thank you so much, Chitara, for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. And
Thank
everybody,
you
good
for
night.
the
See
comfort.
you Wednesday. Bye bye.